What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Here on today's figure review, we're going to be taking a look at MechaGodzilla 1975 from Terror of MechaGodzilla. So, to start off, we're going to take a look at to see how much of a range of motion that this MechaGodzilla 1975 possesses. So here we have the arms, and the arms can rotate all the way around. But for some reason, okay, so this one, a lot easier, as I'm seeing right now. This arm is a little bit more difficult to rotate, as you can see right here, where I'm running into the problem because the way of how his folds of his arm are. But yep, so just keep in mind, if you do get your hands on this figure, you may have a little bit more of a challenge of rotating. For me, it's the left hand side. Now, as for his legs can also rotate all the way around with ease. If the arms were, let's say, all the way down, almost side to side, so here you just run into the problem of the arms, legs, vice versa, being in the way of each other. But that should be no problem, as long as you remember to either put the arms up, and then do the legs, and then just make sure the legs are down, and then you can do the arms. Whoops, okay. As far as now with the tail, of course, there's really nothing much going on here with the tail, as it's all just one whole piece with the bottom half of his body. Now with the head, as usual, the head can turn all the way around. And last but not least, one portion of the body which has been common for, I think, of MechaGodzilla to do, that I've done a review on I believe the Bandai Creation MechaGodzilla 1974, where the bottom half and this top half can rotate all the way around, just like the head. But unfortunately, there's no rotating the top half of his body, as it's all appears to be glued on with the top and bottom half of his body. So it's probably for a good reason, like I've mentioned before, to keep it from falling off easily or making it loose. Now, as far as the color scheme on this MechaGodzilla, and he's pretty much metallic silver color, as MechaGodzilla is pretty much of a metal robot, pretty much, in other words to say. And then here you can see how on this side and on the other side, here it says, and I believe that this is correct, it says MechaGodzilla 2, so this is the second version of this incarnation of MechaGodzilla in the Showa franchise. And same thing on the other side of the arm. Now let's give you guys a close-up of the head. So with the eyes, they're an orange color, and on the inside of the mouth, you'll see how on the bottom of his mouth, to on the inside where his tongue, instead of a tongue, it's missiles. As you can see, it's like reddish missiles for a tongue. And then right here, like where, I don't know, the screws or ears on his head are like a red circular part of his body. And of course, here's the detailing of the manufacturing, or just details of the figure. But yeah, that's pretty much going to be it covering for this MechaGodzilla figure. And now we're going to go ahead and move on to size comparison with other figures right about now. Alright, first up here we have MechaGodzilla 1975 with Godzilla 2004 from Godzilla Final Wars. And here we have MechaGodzilla next to Kong 2021 from Godzilla vs. Kong in the film release of 2021. Okay, and here we have again the return of Godzilla 1991. And so far, figures all pretty much are, head to head of being almost similarly the same height so far with MechaGodzilla. But let's go ahead and move on to one last comparison. Okay, and last but not least, here we have MechaGodzilla 1975 with Gorosaurus from the Showa era. And to kind of make this a little bit different here, just wanted to mention that, okay, gonna put that there, that one there, and this one there. So as I mentioned in a previous video with one of the two that are currently with MechaGodzilla right now, that these are 3 of the new wave of the Bandai Japan Movie Monster Series vinyl figures that recently came out a couple months ago. And yep, this is the 3 out of, well, I know there's a list of other ones that I could go on about, but this is 3 of them of this recently new wave of figures from Bandai Japan Movie Monster Series. And like I said before, they're all pretty excellent to have in your collection and very unique in their own way. As for example, if you got a King Ghidorah 1991 figure, now you have something to go with your Godzilla 1991 figure as well. And if you got Godzilla 1975 and a Titanosaurus 1975. Now they all can go pretty well with a MechaGodzilla 1975. And if you have, it's kind of, well, anything related with the Showa franchise of figures from that era, now you have a Gorosaurus from that era to go well with other figures that are also from that time in the franchise, the Showa era. But alright, now, so I'm gonna go ahead and pass this back to Fiercezilla Jr. and hopefully things will go well, if you know what I mean here. So here's Fiercezilla Jr. now. Alright, Fiercezilla Jr., what are your final thoughts? You want to take us back to the island? And please have mercy on this MechaGodzilla, because I know you have a tendency to atomic blast every MechaGodzilla that you come across.